It's a special Halloween edition here of Cigar Saturday. I'm Tom Fischer. I'm joined live by Matty Rock. And Matty, you actually are with our guest tonight, which is a nice Halloween surprise. It's Sanj there from Sanj's Smoke
Hello,
Shop.
hello, hello.
It's good to have you back, Sanj. How's it going?
Good to be back. Going great.
So first and foremost, I'd like to start off to today's thing, a quick moment of prayer for Ted's family. As we know, Sanj was a sweetheart as usual on the last fill-in. So Ted, much love and prayers to your family.
Yes.
We're thinking about you. Much love, brother.
Yeah, much love. So we'll look forward to having him back at some point in the future. But for now, it's great to see you again, Sanj. And
Thank you.
what's been happening? I think it was a couple months ago. How have things been at Sanj's?
Same. Crazy as always, brother. Having a great time.
Excellent. Well, and I think, Matty, this may be one of the first times that you've actually been with our guest on location.
Yes.
See that on site? I got Sanj to lift that restraining order at the last minute. I'm like, dude, come on. For Halloween, you could lift the restraining order. I mean, like, be a pal. He's like, all right, you've got 2 hours and you better be the hell out of here. I was like, all right. So
That's great.
We came to in a last minute accord.
Absolutely. No, it's good to see you guys, and I see a lot of people tuning in for our Halloween episode here on Bourbon Blog's Cigar Saturday. Tell us down below. I mean, maybe you have a special Halloween pairing, a cigar with a candy pairing. We've been doing a little of those the last few weeks. Tell us what you're smoking. Maybe you're having a Halloween cocktail. Is there a special cigar that you think pairs well with Halloween? Anyone?
Come on,
Matty?
guys. What do we got? See, to me, I'm on the ever since Bron was smoking his Undercrown, I'm like, you know what? I got Undercrowns. I could be like Bron. So today I got the Dogma going down. So I particularly like the box press and the cigar. And I say it, Sanj will tell you too. It always adds a different element. Even the blend could be exactly the same, but when you have that Cuban box press, it adds a different element to the smoke. So like it very much. I'm firing up that. Mr. Sanj has got the same. You can put in your 2 cents on that one, Sanj.
Dogma and Sour Patch Kids. Once a year. That's that. Excellent.
Dogma. You do Dogma and the Sour Patch.
Sour Patch Kids. That's what I had. We have a lot of candy, Tom, and the kids couldn't make it. So guess what? Somebody's got to eat it. So we're doing it.
And for my non-adult beverage, let it be known, I am a classy guy, and I got a little Yoo-hoo action going down today.
It's a little Yoo-hoo tonight. Well, I am doing a one of the acids. This is the Cuba Arte, the limited editions. I'm having one of these, and I have a few things in front of me. In a moment, our Cigar Saturday bartender Annabelle is going to be bringing me a cocktail. But I'm doing a couple things. I'm doing something that's very autumnal. I'm doing an apple brandy made in Louisville, Kentucky. That's what I'm starting with. It is the Copper and Kings apple brandy. I love this stuff. So having a sip of that, probably will move on to a little rye whiskey in a moment too. But
that's good. You got the sweet with the sweetness going.
That's right.
That sweetness of the acid is going to pair up particularly nice with that cider and with the brandy. So it looks like you knocked that pairing out of the park. I seem like I may have failed a little bit, but let truth be known, I just wanted a Yoo-hoo tonight.
No, I like the Yoo-hoos. The Yoo-hoos are great. It's kind of fitting for Halloween, I think, isn't it?
Yep. Like I said, everyone, I know I don't need an outfit or anything because I look scary as it is. Truth be known, I had a luchador mask, but the yap hole wasn't big enough for a cigar, so I wasn't going to lead you to the tree to me setting myself on fucking fire, so I could just see that plastic going up. And exactly, I would have been screaming for help, and this fucknut would have been laughing at me. So,
that would have been a laugh. Have you seen any cigar themed costumes ever at costume parties, whether it's Halloween or otherwise, that you think are spot on for a cigar themed costume?
Oh, we've seen it before. People dress up as cigars, cigar bands, ashtrays. I mean, we've seen it this year. You know what? A lot of the adult parties are dead because you just can't be out at them. And over here in the Northeast, it's been a little bit nipply. As a matter of fact, yesterday over here in Jersey, there was a little bit of early snow.
Yes.
And so no one wanted to freeze their crunch berries off. So a lot of parties were canceled. Yeah, a lot of parties were canceled. Obviously, you can't move them indoor. Both the governor of New York and New Jersey kind of gave each other a high five, and we're unfortunately about yay close back to lockdown. So
Yeah.
we're
Oh,
back
man.
to being particularly careful.
So you may be on another lockdown soon on the East, well, in New York, New Jersey.
It's possible. This time it'll be the non-essential businesses. They're not going to lock it all the way down because they showed that nothing. They proved nothing by doing that.
Right.
So it'll be enough though, just to hurt those businesses that are trying to stay alive. So our prayers and our thoughts go to them as well. And just like everywhere else, but this year we can't escape it. It's in everybody's face. So all I could do is wish for the best and wish for my friends that are promotions people and people that go out into the field and the restaurants and bartenders and there's a lot of hurt out there. And
there really is. And we're hearing more and more across the country. But hopefully, everyone is. If you're having a Halloween celebration, you're doing it safely. And now where I am here on the border of Indiana and Kentucky, there are a few kids out trick or treating. Have they kind of banned it there? What's the story? You seeing any kids out?
Well, we did get a couple kids. Normally, so tradition here for 25 years, Tom.
Yeah.
We buy tons and tons of candy, and we don't have a couple hundred kids because they know even they moved out of town, they still come back because we have a rule. Whatever you grab with your two hands, it's yours. So this year, this year we made bags, individual bags, but unfortunately, a lot of kids. These are the bags we made.
Oh,
a lot
wow.
of candies and goodies in it, and unfortunately, a lot of kids did not show up. So so it will go with Matty, and we'll donate it to the.
Matty might.
He's right to go with Matty because he didn't tell me they had Reese's peanut butter cups in here. I'm kind of partial to those. I didn't.
Almond Joy is my favorite.
I love the Almond Joys.
That's my favorite.
There will be Reese's peanut butter cups missing from every individual. All the weight that I lost is coming back. And it all Sanj and Reese's peanut butter cups.
It's going to be a dangerous. Well, we really hope that obviously this is not a show that children watch, but if your children are anywhere near Sanj's smoke shop and you're watching, I guess you still have a few bags, right? If Matty doesn't take them all by the end of the show, you still have a few bags if anybody's watching with kids.
Before you say that, Tom, if you touch the Reese's peanut butter cups, you're going to get more than a trick and a treat. You dig? Stay away from the cups. Mine.
There is. You have everything else.
Clarity right there. I ain't playing games.
The two-hand rule, because a lot of people will say, now just take one, but I like Sanj's two-hand rule. You can reach in. Maybe you have big hands as a kid or small hands, but no matter what.
All they want, much as they want, that's what they get.
Much as they want.
Again, after I'm done.
After he's done with the peanut butter.
Gonna lay down a few. The ground rules, man. COVID's been tough on everybody. When opportunities, show up, I gotta take them.
Well, now when we were kids, there were these like were they bubble gum and chocolate cigars and cigarettes? They don't make those anymore, right? It's politically incorrect, right?
Out of state, they banned that because they thought all the experts thought it promotes smoking,
Yeah.
And they banned all that.
Right. But it just Matty's proof that it
now it's fine. It's good. It's a good trade-off.
It's a good trade-off as long as there's candy involved.
Good job,
I was
guys.
just thinking of that today.
Kids. So let's just say, didn't work out so well.
No, I do remember those. So tell us down below what you're smoking, what you're drinking. Maybe if you're having a Halloween party, post a picture of it on Facebook, even if it's a party of one. On my tastings, on my private tastings that I've been doing, I have been doing some candy and chocolate pairings mixed with whiskey, and we are finding that a lot of good bourbons really do go well with. You said peanut butter cups are your favorite, right, Matty?
Yes, sir.
You got some peanut butter cups. This is a special release of peanut butter cups they did this year. These actually grow. The candies don't, but the packages glow in the dark. So
if the candy does, you're gonna have to go to the doctor post-COVID and get that fixed.
That'd be a really special COVID edition. How about some candy bacon or chocolate-covered bacon to go with bourbon? I agree. Yes. In fact, we are actually looking. You're reading my mind. We're looking at doing a bacon pairing at some point and doing some chocolate and chocolate-covered bacon. Those are always a real treat. But check out the link down below. We're continuing to do those through the end of the year once a week. And bourbonblog.com/at-home. You can actually join me, have a class, and we can even send you the whiskey. So make sure you bookmark that because we're doing a lot of themed things for the holidays, for Thanksgiving. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. And also to make it fun tonight, We have another one of those lovely bags of the Janus coffee from Janus Coffee Roasters from our good buddy Chad Bates.
Thank you, Chad and Shay. Love you guys.
Yeah. So if you like this video and either you retweet it or share it on Facebook, we're going to put your name in the drawing in about 30 or 40 minutes. We'll draw that name. Chad actually sent me some of his new coffee this week. It's been done in rum barrels. So I'll bring that out in a moment. It's
that's nice, Chad. I haven't seen that.
It may be on its way to you. It's very possible that it's on its way to you.
Watching you, Shay. So is Sanj.
Now I'm always Sanj. I see you post. You must have a really nice little espresso maker there, because I see you post pictures with coffee and espresso like throughout the week. You guys do a little espresso there, right?
Yeah, I do about 5-6 espressos a day.
Okay.
And it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Regular coffee, if I have a sip of regular coffee, upsets my stomach. I could never understand that. But so I did a research on it, because most coffee is cut with chicory, and chicory is what am I allergic to.
Okay.
And espresso is not cut with chicory.
Okay. So I love espresso too. And of course, those tabacs are always great pairings, as well as a lot of the other cigars. Is there a special espresso that you like with your
No, I just go to Nespresso, and whatever limited edition stuff they have, I just buy a bunch of sleeves, and that's it.
Those are great.
And the good news is apparently 8 cups of it. If they don't have it at one store, he runs to the next store to go get it.
Yeah.
After 6 cups, he's faster than the bus.
I love the Nespressos too. I love the Cubanos they've done. I've ordered some of those, and I really like the.
My favorite one's Paris.
Oh, the Paris one's very nice too. Yes.
I love that. Love that.
I like the Cazar. I like the real deep
Cazar
as well. Those are really good.
They make good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, those are really good. So you're all set there with great sticks there at Sanj's Smoke Shop, and again in Bloomfield, New Jersey, right?
That's right.
A place that I plan on getting in the new year to hang out with you. I've actually had a few. I think a few of your people have emailed me saying, "Hey, as soon as I can get there, we'll do something with whiskey and cigars. We're going to have some fun with you." Can't wait to get back there to New Jersey and see you, Matty, and hang out at Sanj's. Because I've never been to Sanj's. It'll be fun to actually be there.
You got to check out the back. So we're not going to do it now because we could lose. We'll put up some pictures for everyone to look at later. So there's some for everyone to think about. So Sanj finished due in the back. It's a giant. It's a tent, but it's not a tent. It's a huge freestanding apparatus. Put heat lamps and everything else. What, 250 people, maybe more?
Yeah, but with the social distance, about 140.
Yes.
So during COVID, 140. After COVID, pack it up.
Yeah.
So
we'll be having some fun for sure.
That wants to think of events. And Tom, now that you kind of mentioned it before too, so everybody that's out there that's maybe been a little bit bummed because we haven't been able to be out there with our friends and everybody else, reach out to Tom, because you can create your own virtual type party. And the way that you could do that is Tom can set up something through Eventbrite. So literally you get a big ass TV outside if you have some social distancing, and you could really host a nice size event. If you need help with the tech side of that, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to tell you what you need to do. But like I said, especially in the holiday season, I know all of us, myself, Sanj, everyone included, it's a little bit rough not being around people. Yeah. So if you wanted to throw an event like that, a cigars and whiskey event, or chocolate and cigars, or bacon, because bacon, reach out to Tom. That's something that Tom can put together. I will help. If you have tech questions and how to host it for a larger amount of people, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you with that. And like I said, this is what we got today, and that's the best way we can all stay interested and immersed in the culture and stay together, you know?
I appreciate it a lot, Matty. And again, I'll put my email address right up there. And the fun part is I think there's a lot of companies, whether they're small companies, big companies, that we've been seeing the last few weeks that are looking for a way to elevate their, whether it's Christmas or holiday party. So it is a fun way to elevate. We love doing it in person for holidays or just for parties, but we're doing them online, and it's become really a fun thing. We're doing some theme ones. We're going to do some theme ones with cigar, and we're going to have you along for that, Matty. And probably even send some people some cigars at some point from Sanj's, because we can. Sanj, you ship, don't you? Do you ship cigars? You do, don't you?
No, but for you, we'll do it.
You do it. Okay, you'll do it. Okay, we appreciate it. So, good. Well, if you're close
to have events, you heard that. So if you want to put events together,
yes,
now you know.
We know.
We got all that. So you point in the other direction we do it. So you got this guy for the high tech stuff. and this guy for your smokes.
That's right.
Got to hold on. I'm making sure. See, up is still up and down is still down.
We gotta, yeah.
It's all right.
Do this, and then they'll know exactly the direction. No, it'll be a lot of fun to do that with you, Sanj and Matty. And what do you say? You know, I guess is 8. We're into this 8 months, Sanj. As far as what people are reaching for, has it changed? You see more people trying new cigars during the pandemic. How's the scope changed during the last 8 months with cigars?
It really hasn't, because for a few reasons. Number one, we can't get anything new. I mean, we're having a hard time getting what already the merchandise was here. So Nicaragua is completely shut down. Honduras is shut down. And in my case, it's a little different because we don't deal with wholesalers. We deal with, direct manufacturers. So like, wholesalers, they might have some product, but a lot of stuff that we actually had a hard time getting, and we still do. And just recently, that a lot of stuff's coming in. But other than that, I mean, listen, my guys are very versatile. If something they smoke, it's not there, they'll move to something else. It's not like, hey, this is all I need and this is all I smoke. So it's very different.
Yes. Yeah.
So and like I said, we have tons and tons of inventory. So for me, it's like, last episode we said it. Even if I couldn't get product for the next 5 years, I'm still okay.
Right.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see all the different facings.
Yes.
Really fast. So I'm going to start. Obviously, everyone's familiar with the white cap if you're Davidoff people, but you go from around. Smile, guys. You're on camera. I just fucked up Carlton's witness protection. I'm sorry. I owe you. My bad. But you'll see. How many total facings, Sanj?
1,400.
So as you can see, there's Mr. Walken, Detective Walken Chips.
Hey there.
So you could see, and with the boxes in the background, there's oh my God, we fell.
All right.
Falling and I can't get up. Okay, we're back.
You got it quick.
So you can see, especially here, there's more than plenty of product. And like I said, if you're getting in the mood to go out there and go smoke some stuff, ask Sanj. If you're local to the area, give him a call. You're not sure, because again, a lot of people have more and more time. Indoor stuff, especially in our area, is going to be on the shelf. So if you have questions, if you're a first-time smoker, you don't really know what you should be smoking. So a lot of first-time guys will be like, "Excuse me, man, I think I should smoke a Cuban as my first cigar." You should not smoke a Cuban as your first cigar unless you're looking to lose weight by shitting your pants. I'm highly against it. If that's what you're looking for in a colonic, go for it. But on the real, if you want to learn it and the essences of what you smoke, you have to build to everything else. Like if you're just going to start drinking, the first thing probably not to do is ask for a shot of Everclear, right? And same thing goes for cigars. You start with something light, something that you can your palate can adjust to, and then again over the years it'll nick up into stuff, and then you'll be able to pound the shot of Everclear.
And that's some serious stuff, and it's a very, very good analogy. And the experience there at Sanj's is a very special one for anywhere. Tell us about the experience at Sanj's when we go into Sanj's. What's the experience like?
So I've known Sanj going on 15 years now, and the thing that makes the shop, there's a couple different things that make it different coming into here. Now look, Sanj, you owe me $50. I want $100 after this. But the difference when you come to Sanj's, two things that you don't see at a lot of places. Number one, Sanj legitimately cares about what you smoke, your opinion, when he believes you're going to like. So when you come into the store, he's not looking to upsell you on the most expensive cigar and tell you to buy 10. He's not going to tell you something just to clear a shelf out of something. He wants to know who you are. Have you smoked before? What are the types of sticks that you've already smoked? And he's going to help build and deliver a flavor profile for you, which you might not even know you have a profile. But if you've smoked before, Sanj has it figured out, and he's going to guide you to a couple of different things in the shop. And I could promise you, he doesn't go, here's the $80 stick. No, it's not what goes on here. Sanj is going to make sure that this is something that works for you, your palate, and at the end of the day, he wants to make you happy. And number two, this is a family show. You see the guys and gals in here. We all look forward to seeing each other. It's you go to certain cigar lounges across the United States. Some of them have a propensity to be a little bit nichey, and this person has this group, and this person has that group. And one guy's smoking his $60 cigar, frowning on the person smoking a $4 cigar. And I got to tell you, in all my years, that doesn't happen here. So everybody you see walking in and out behind us, except that guy who just took the register, is is considered family. It's super friendly place to smoke, and it really epitomizes the culture of cigar smoking. It's incredibly welcoming. And if you're feeling too good about yourself, and Sanj knows you well enough, he will shit talk you, bring you right the fuck back down. So if you're here and you're like, I'm feeling really good about myself, you will leave probably with a few tears in your eyes, crying, and thinking about how you can change your life for the better. Love you, Sanj.
Did he summarize it really well, Sanj?
Yes.
See, that's a one-word answer. I nailed this shit. I hit all my.
Now, do you find that there are? I mean, and I know it's a very special shop, and I can already feel like I've been there, even though I haven't. But we feel like we're all there virtually with you tonight. Do you find that there are cigar lounges, or a lot of them across the country, that do try to upsell you on things without getting to know you? Is that kind of what you see a lot of places? Some places.
I'm going to let him speak on the ownership side, then I'll talk.
Yeah.
The common thing in cigar shops is, most of the places I don't even consider cigar shops.
Right.
So they're just hangout spots, So the owners themselves don't know anything about tobacco or anything about cigars. So it's like guys want to go, cool place. Most spots in Jersey, New York, actually in New Jersey, cigars are almost 40, 50, 60 times more than what it should be. And they just always want to upsell. A lot of the places we deal with a lot of exclusive product. So a lot of retailers come to us and they buy it, at MSRP. And they put it on their shop for double the price, So who's to blame? The guy buying a $10 cigar for $40? Or is the guy selling it? So to me, I mean, most people in a shop like mine, they're embarrassed to even come in because they feel that they don't know much about it and someone's going to laugh at them. That's not the case, Everybody at one point started somewhere, and
right.
And that's the way we look at it. So we always tell people, long as you're honest and humble with us, we could teach you. I could teach you everything, But there are some people smoking for 6 months and they pretend like, they're going to teach me a few things. And that's the kind of guy that, I don't even waste my time with.
Right. No, it's good. It's good to go to a place that you can be educated, you can feel comfortable. No
100%. 100%.
No matter what your level is. It's so
that's
important.
I take a lot of pride. I take a lot of pride in what we do here. So my job is to make sure it's not about people who know me. They know my perfect thing here is my best days when nobody's here. So I get to smoke good cigars,
Right.
But at the same time, if somebody comes in and say I want to learn, I'll hang out until 2 a.m. And teach them everything.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it, here. And again, don't be intimidated. Everybody here is, look, right now I'm doing this thing and my guys are helping customers. And, you don't have to feel that way. And I think, most of the time people walk in and, they're in their head, they think, oh, I've been smoking for 2 years and that makes me expert because something they read on Cigar Aficionado. Well,
right.
That's somebody else's opinion, And I always try to educate people. It's not about somebody else. It's you. You're smoking that cigar. I could love it. You're not going to like it. So it's just, I'll work with them and find their palate and, give me a week and I'll teach you and, teach you how to go somewhere else and pick out a proper cigar without somebody selling your garbage. And,
right.
I think that's what's needed in this business. A lot of garbage, a lot of guys, they're in the business just because it's a trendy thing to do. And, unfortunately, it gives the guys like us bad name who's doing the right thing.
Right. That's true. No, I like your approach. I like the approach that you have of getting to know someone's palate. I think that's so important with cigars. And that's Absolutely. What we really aim to do with whiskey is to find out what people like. Everybody has their own palate. There's some people that like this best, that best, but at the end of the day, it's up to the individual. What got you? I mean, I know you've told us before, but I think it's a great story. What actually got you into this, having a shop?
Car accident.
You notice that's a trend with our guests? Opie's listening right now. Like,
oh, yep. That's right. It was a few weeks ago. Yes. There is.
So my family had a cigar shop.
Story. Yeah.
Yeah. So my family had a cigar shop, and
Right.
as a Indian family, everybody sticks together, right? So I worked in a cigar shop. So we had one called Wooden Indian Tobacco, and we had one. The other one was called International Tobacco. And whatever reason, tobacco shop came, that was my job to work there. Fill up shelves, check the humidification. I mean, it was
Right.
nothing like what's today. Standard stuff. Tiamo, Royal Jamaica. Santa Damianas.
Holy shit, world.
Yeah. But so standard stuff. La Única 100 Maduro was my favorite cigar. $1.65. Was made by Fuente. I mean, great stuff, great cigar for cheap price. But and I had a near that car accident, and I couldn't do it. Continue for 3 years. I couldn't work. And then I bought this building on my 19th birthday, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with this building? I couldn't rent it. I couldn't do anything. So I said, fuck it, let's do a cigar shop. And that's what I knew. So I opened up a cigar shop. In 1997, it was booming. New York Times rated us number one. 2014, Cigar Shop magazine rated us number one. And then 1997, I went strictly with boutique, because prior to that, we used to do macanudos and stuff, and it was like you competing with yourself. Me as a retailer, buy $100 box, pay $48 tax. My cost was $148, but you as a consumer online could buy it for $73.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? It's not feasible for us to do it. So we just decided to go strictly, into boutique, and then even today, that's what we continue doing. And the goal was to remain at MSRP. So and I don't think there's any shop does. Even states that have no tobacco tax, New Jersey has 30% tax. So on a $3 cigar, $10 cigar, $3 is our tax.
Wow.
And we don't pass that to consumer. So even like rare cigars, that where is no tax, states, Commonwealth states, no tax, and they still don't sell it at that price. So I mean, it's one of those things that we do for a long time, and then. Now New Jersey's talking about somewhere from 60 to 65% tax, and I tell people my prices will be still the same. We haven't changed it. When I started in 1992, it was 0% tax. Then it went to 12%. Then it went to 18%. Then 24, and then from 24 overnight to 48 with the 24% floor tax. And we never change our prices. So our profit margin is low. But you know what? We do tremendous volume.
That's incredible. That's amazing. Yeah. And it's rare to see a place like yours that sticks to that MSRP, right? That's very rare.
None. There is none.
You're the only one that does this.
Only one. Especially in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, we're the only one.
Sanj, what's your hashtag?
The most hated retailer. Now, consumers don't hate me. It's the fucking cigar shops guys hate me. Because, I get calls if I post something. Yesterday, I had a Purple Rain. BBMR Purple Rain comes out once a year, 200 boxes made a year.
Wow.
And MSRP $75. I get a call from fucking Arizona. Guys like, can you not put prices? And I'm like, why? They have no tax. I think it's like 5 cents, 25 cents cap on a cigar. And they're like, well, listen, I'm selling for 120 bucks, and my guys follow you on social media, and they complain to me. And I'm like, listen, you got to change that. You're robbing people.
Right.
And that's the way it is. Let me take care of this gentleman. I'll be right back, Matty.
Go ahead. We're already getting some fans. Walkin' Chin says Sanj's Place is a family. Everyone says hello, no matter who comes in. I drive 45 minutes just to hang here. And people.
And here's the best part. There's Walkin' right there.
There's Walkin'. Thank you. Got his comment.
All right. Oh, no, it's not ninja. Oh, God. Hit him a life alert. Hold on. We need the life alert.
It's all right. They've fallen again. They're going to get up. Okay, Matty's up. Matty, get up really quickly from those falls, don't you?
Oh, you get hit enough times. So, yeah. So there's Walkin' right there. But, yeah, Walkin's been coming for years. He's part of the family. Carlton's been coming here for like 1,600 years, 1,700 years.
What's happening?
That's just the name we use. Family. So, like I said, it really follows.
It's good to see that. I mean, it's nice. I mean, really, when it comes to whether it's cigar shops, restaurants, bars, places that have always had family come around that are locally owned, that's so important, I think, to keep that kind of culture continuing, because that's something that's becoming more and more lost in our society, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So local culture stuff, everything is turning into big box, and especially during this time, during COVID, I tell people if you know that somebody's open, try to go out to them, and you're saving maybe a second, third, maybe fourth generation business from being gone forever. And
Right.
I've seen it here. Like I said, there's a lot of older restaurants. Have a good night. There's a lot of older restaurants and stuff that have been here for generations, and just to see them gone, it's difficult stuff. And again, I understand in hard times that sometimes there's a necessity into going to a big box store to save a couple bucks. But if you can, do your best. And like I said, everybody gets it. Everybody knows, especially now, for a lot of people, money is tight. Do what you can, but if you can, keep the people who've been in your community, keep them there, because that's what really makes a community, right? Is having those places to go to, and people that have been kind of the pillars of the foundation for those towns for years.
So we have a simple rule in our household: shop small. We always support local people. So the only time we go out, I remember when I first got married, I told my wife, always support a neighborhood guy. And we had this little shop, guy sold bananas, apples. And my wife would say, hey, but this guy's charging 49 cents a pound. Meanwhile, I could get it for 19 cents. And I remember telling her, I said, listen, that guy's putting his kids to college. The other one's going to buy a fucking Ferrari and ride around in your neighborhood. That's the difference.
Right.
So, we always support small businesses. That's my thing.
Yeah. And people need to understand that with lounges too. So I've had people tell me, Matt, if I go to some of the big online e-tailers for my cigars, I can get all these things for much cheaper. I'm like, that's great. So where are you going to go and smoke that stick?
Well, not even. You get it cheaper, but it's also cheap quality. And I think most people don't understand that most of these companies that make product for boutique shop and what's made for catalog is two different things. Simple way I could explain to people is when you go to Home Depot, you buy a Kohler toilet. It's $200. You go to Lowe's, maybe $209, $198.
Right.
But same toilet, you go to plumbing supply, $700. There is a difference for that.
Right.
Quality is different. Mechanisms are different, and you're gonna get what you pay for. And it's a funny thing. It's Ernie Perez. A lot of people may not know him by name, but he's the guy originally owner of La Gloria Cubana.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
And what happened with Ernie, and in 90s, I used to tell him, Ernie had, he used to make La Gloria Cubana before he sold it. Unfortunate things happen, but I think it was his, I think he dug his own grave with that. And I had mentioned it to him plenty of times. He used to make bundles. So let's say bundles cost us at $75. Then he had a cigar called La Gloria Cubana, and it was in a box. It was 100. And then he had third quality. It's called Calidar Supreme. And that would cost me $125. So one costs us $3, one costs us $4, and one costs us $5. But he never, ever, the bundle $75 one was a medium filler, but it had the same band as a regular $6 La Gloria Cubana. So what cigar shop guys would do, buy a box of Calidar Supreme and fill it with bundles. But those who smoked back in the day, we didn't have this many choices. So if you smoke La Gloria Cubana, you knew that you were smoking, that's the only cigar you smoke. So if anything changed in quality, people noticed it. And we used to get same complaint. And it's like, Sanj, I bought this cigar from somewhere else and it don't taste right. That's because it was replaced by bundles. And, at time came, nobody was buying the cigar. And, even in my shop, I couldn't sell it. Even we did the right thing. If he told you this is Calidar Supreme, it was Calidar Supreme. And we couldn't buy it because people say, they're garbage. And I actually went to a bunch of shops and find out what they were doing. And I brought it to Ernie's attention. And, he's like, I don't want to change it. I said, listen, if you're making bundled cigar, just put a second band. Or redesign the band, put a line on it. Do something. Separate those three brands. And he never done it. And that was his downfall.
Wow. And so is that something that consumers need to watch for when they're, no matter what shop they're going to, is quality, what do they need to watch for?
A lot of times they don't know. So you got to go
Right.
to a shop where there's somebody kind of Sanj around that can guide you. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's out there in the industry. Luckily, one of the good things about social media and the web is that people talk. There's
Right.
been brands, and like I said, we don't go after people's business, but there's been brands that will kind of do the bitch, the switch and bait on you and make you feel like
Absolutely.
you're getting the greatest deal. So
Right.
we'll leave their name out of there, but there's a place that'll say, hey, the MSRP on this stick used to be $32. We're giving it to you for $4. Now, if you don't really know, you're going to go race for it and go, hey, I just got this thing with an MSRP at $38 for $4. This is the best bargain. And the truth of the matter is, your $4 stick is a $4 stick.
Absolutely.
There's certain brands that they're like, oh, how come their MSRP always budges? I hate to say that, but those are the most honest brands. That MSRP never changes, and the price that you're paying for it is always on the money. Guess what? Those are the brands that are keeping, I would say, the aspect, everything, the realness of their brand. They're not tarnishing it. They're not making it dirty, and they're really not trying to rope-a-dope the customer into thinking they're getting a better deal than they really are, because that's how humans are meant to think, right? What's the best deal?
Yeah.
Right.
So even like tobacco would change, cigar prices would change over time, because most people don't know that tobacco trades as a commodity. So, but when does it affect you? Not every month, not every, once a couple of years, and when it goes up, it's couple cents. It's not couple dollars.
Wow.
So like we don't even change our prices. I have cigars that we sold same price that we sold 15 years ago. So if a couple bucks changes, we don't, couple cents changes per cigar, we don't even bother with it. And a lot of new companies, they come out with this super high end stuff. They put it. I'm not. Who's to say? Listen, guys, whoever's listening, you heard it from me. Most cigars cost less than $2, whether it sells for $4 or $40.
To actually make it, or to what? What is it?
No, yeah, that's all it is. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
There is a cigar right behind me. It costs them less than $2. That includes material, labor, band, box, and shipped to U.S. with all the taxes paid. Under $2. MSRP on that cigar is $11.90.
Wow.
And guess what? Everywhere else, that cigar is $15, $16, $17. Why? Because they have a name behind it.
Magic of retail and advertising.
Absolutely. And that's we always educate people. I mean, my favorite saying is, listen, there is good $2 cigars and there's garbage $20 cigars. If you don't like $100 cigar, it was a garbage for you. Only thing was it was $100 fucking garbage. But it was a garbage.
Right.
So and that's the most important thing, and the way market today is, there are people who enjoy smoking, going to find the spot like mine. And there are people just want to smoke because, it's cool and hang out. And, then I don't want them type of customers coming here anyway. Usually we have a lot of people in the back. They're all having good time. They all talk. And, again, the environment here is very different than any other lounge. Here, everyone speaks to each other. If one eats, we all eat, So it's not like you go in some places and, you got a crew of 5 guys you don't know, you've never met. No, everybody's one big family here, and that's the way we keep it. Very different.
And,
I think that's so important what you're saying.
That definitely happens in your world. And, and Sanj doesn't want the kind of people that are going to, there's brand shamers, and I laugh because that's in your world too. So you're going to have somebody that really can't tell the difference between a Johnny Black and a Johnny Blue, but they're going to make sure label out, pinky up, and they're going to show you that they're smoking blue. But if you were to blind taste test them, they couldn't tell you between the blue and the black, right?
Right.
So, there's people like that. It's no different in this world. You're going to get people that want to make sure, they're going to thump you on the head with the band, kind of let you know what they're smoking.
Yeah.
And,
Right. Absolutely.
Very, very, very common thing that people come up here first time in my shop and then, hey, you got Padron? And I'm like, no, what are you looking for? They don't know size, name, nothing. So I'm like, okay, I'm out of it. Anything else I can help you? Oh, you got acid blondie? Like, what the fuck? You went from one extreme to the other. So that tells you don't know your cigars. So again, it's just one of those things.
Hey, advertising, like I said, advertising is king. Look in the 80s and 90s, before the big wave of all the vodka companies came out, who had one of the best advertising on the planet. But that was Absolute, right?
Now, that really was, yeah.
Now let's be honest. Absolute, and people used to, back when I was still drinking, over Absolute, I drank Stoli. And I'll tell you what, I used to catch a lot of shit, and I used to laugh. I'm like, guys, it's great, hot Swedish bikini babe, and this and that. I'm like, and then I'd blind test them. I was like, the only thing that, I'm like, unless you're buying the gallon things, that a pop off that you can clean the shit off of your car with. I'm like, Absolute's not the best, but that advertising machine was just throwing it out there. And, as media came out and everything else came out, people learned, like, oh, well, this tastes a lot different, and the quality's different. And, hey, what's this filter process they're talking about? What's this distillation they're talking about? And Sanj is pegging people with candy. I feel a lot. There's going to be a
make sure he saves your peanut butter cups. That's what you got to make sure.
Oh, no, peanut butter cups. There's going to be some shit. Oh, look at that. There's Victor. No better shop. That's right,
Victor Luca Tortoro. Am I saying it the right way?
Just call him cash only. Look, when you see Vic come up, just call him cash only.
Cash only.
What are you smoking tonight?
Tell us what you're smoking tonight, Victor. And Charles S. says he used to smoke the La Gloria Cubana Series R, but then he moved on to Liga Privada and several others there. So
smoking tonight, Charles. You got a Liga fired up?
Tell us what you're smoking down below. We're having a great conversation there with Matty Rock. And, of course, Sanj Patel of Sanj's Smoke Shop. And I just brought a cocktail a few minutes ago. Annabelle made me. This is a Texas pecan Manhattan made. And this one is actually, to change it up a little bit, this is a fairly new distillery out of Nashville, Tennessee, where they actually have some really interesting, and I don't always love flavored whiskeys, but now these are very interesting how they haven't unflavored them, they've infused them. They've actually infused this with real Texas pecans. They do this with a variety of other elements. They have one that's a mint that they infuse with mint. They do one with, I think, gosh, I'll have to look back at what all they do, but they do some really good flavors of the whiskeys, and they do one with coffee too, which is really dynamite. It's called Red Eye Rye. So check these guys out.
I'm gonna have to get you a Tabak Red Eye to drink with the Red Eye.
Yes, that's right. The red eye, that would be a great pairing. The Tabak Red Eye with the Red Eye Rye. So this is a great.
Those two brain cells had a meeting this evening, so that's it. I'm not really good for anything else for like the next 30 days now, but
they did.
I'll remember to send out a Red Eye.
Victor is not smoking quite yet. I think he's going to. He says he's currently sitting on the toilet. So it's good to know people watch us from all over. It's good to have the honesty. We appreciate that. Hopefully in a little while, Victor, you'll tell us. Well,
wash your hands. Wash your hands, not just for COVID. It's the right thing to do. Wash your hands.
And they said it. And he also says Sanj is legit MSRP. So thank you for watching, Victor. And again, everybody who's watching, like this and share this for the chance to win that special Janus coffee from Shad and the family there in Wyoming. They've actually taken this coffee and they've aged it. They've actually finished this coffee in some used bourbon barrels. It's amazing stuff.
And I got their coffee is great. I've had they have that single origin Nicaragua, and I'm like, I wouldn't know about the rum coffee though. Wouldn't know about that, Chad. I'm just saying.
It's a new one. It's really great. I actually put their website up there too. I'm doing the ticker effect on this now. This is the JanusCoffeeRoasters.com with a ticker effect. That's
Tom.
Yes.
If you give away stuff, right? This is what we're gonna do.
Yes.
So as everyone knows, I have a lot of rare cigars.
Yes.
So just for this show, you call the shot. Whoever wins, you notify me and send me their address. I will send them the original box of 2010 Nestor Miranda Danos. Now, the story behind this Dano is that Nestor made it and he dedicated it to his son, Daniel, and he called them Dano. And it was only 1,000 cigars he ever put, 1,000 boxes he produced, and it was one of the best cigar in the history today. We bought every single box.
Wow.
And people, even Cigar Aficionado came, the guys from Cigar Shop Magazine flew down here to get a boxes. I give everybody. So the beauty about this cigar is so good that I never sold the box. I give it away almost $600 to people that who really enjoy. So why don't you pick somebody to win that box of cigars, and I would gladly
Okay.
send it to them.
So we'll put that in the drawing too for tonight. If you like this and retweet it or share it on Facebook, if we draw your number, you'll give them it's the box of cigars, right?
Box of
The number
2010.
is 7, and it's Matty Rock. I can get to the, what? I could cheat a little bit. What?
So we'll send them a box of 2010 Dano.
2010 Dano. All right.
Yes.
Excellent. That's the 20. How do you spell that? D-A-N-O?
Yep. And what makes it special is there is nowhere else to get him from, because he's the only guy who has them.
Wow. Like and share this for your chance to win. Again, if you just heard that, make sure you definitely share this, because if you've shared this on Twitter and or Facebook and liked it, you got to do both.
Wait a minute, I got some more. Joe, did you give away my?
You'll be entered to win this box of cigars. This is truly.
He just gave some kids some Halloween stuff, and it looks like he has an espresso here. What the hell's going on? What kind of dealings are you doing? What kind of kids are in this neighborhood? What? Yeah, thank you. All right, we're good again. All right. Yep, I'm happy now.
That's nice. And again, this is from 2010.
Yeah, and I think the fact that it's 2010, but I believe the tobacco's aged, right?
Yeah.
So the tobacco itself
it,
even older.
it was actually how can I put it? In my lifetime, that's the best cigar I smoked.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. That's very kind of you.
It was the tobacco was so good, the cigars were so good. When Nestor sent me a cigar before he was even made and put into production, I said, Nestor, however many boxes you make, it has to come here. And he agreed to it. And he said, we're going to make 1,000 boxes. I bought every single box. I never sold a single stick. I give it away because that cigar, to me, it's something that money wouldn't justify that cigar. So if you give somebody nice stuff and they enjoy it, it's like anything else. It's priceless. And my thing is, I love giving shit away. So, and do it right, people. And I'm sure whoever's here, they're all right people.
Yeah, that hashtag do good.
Yeah,
remember,
that's my hashtag.
Do good.
Dude, thank you for that. This is a real treat for you from Halloween. We appreciate that, Sanj. Thank you.
Hey, most hated retailer to do good.
Yeah,
that scale's tipping back and forth. That's a hell of a way to get balanced. Holy shit.
So again, 2 prizes tonight. It's first of all that Janus Coffee from the Coffee Roasters in Wyoming, our good friend Chad Bates and family there. And also we'll give one other separate giveaway. It's the box of 2010 Dano cigars sent directly to you. We're going to pick one winner in about 20, well, I'll say about 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes. If you have liked and either retweeted this or liked and shared it on Facebook. So we should see those retweets and those likes really going up, because no strings attached, folks. We love treating people good, just like Sanj does, and we appreciate you, Sanj and Matty. We really do. It's a fun time. So that's one of your favorites. What do you like about that cigar? What makes it one of your favorites?
First of all, it's history behind it, right? Because I have a cigar that we used to make once a year, limited production. But the cigar had a lot more meaning to it. And I think what I appreciate about that cigar, because somebody God rest his soul, Dano passed, but Nestor put his son's name on it. So you have to imagine that what kind of pride that man took behind that. And this tobacco was nothing ever, I ever smoked before. And, again, back in the day, that cigar MSRP, I think, was like $9.50. So like $190 a box. But you know what? To me, it's priceless. And we decided to, and I always told Nestor, he said, why do you want all these boxes? I said, because you did something great. I'm going to do greater thing with it. I'm going to give it away to people, in honor of your kid. And that's exactly what we're doing. Yep. So to me, the meaning behind it, and somebody put a name on it, that's more important. So this is the original box of Dano.
Wow.
So
amazing.
Steel box 2010, and it's 7x50, and this is the cigar.
Incredible.
So
That is so cool. That is so. And you started out with 1,000 of those.
well, everything they bought, I bought everything they
You
made.
bought it
I
all.
took it, 1,000, maybe a couple here or there. You know, somebody might have taken from me, resold them, but we had all 1,000. And then he came out with something
Amazing.
with Ecuador wrapper, which he made 500 boxes, and I took all 500 boxes.
Show them the car.
So we have tons and tons of rare stuff, you know. But this Dano means a lot to me because we have cigar that we manufacture. 10,000 cigars. We pick different guys. Not many people don't know about it. But in 2004, I lost my daughter to SIDS. And since then, you know, we do some project and we sell those 10,000 cigars. 100% money goes to SIDS research. So, you know, we do tons and tons of stuff. And, you know, to me, if somebody puts their kid's name on it, you know, there's nothing else in the life left, you know?
Right.
And to lose a child and, you know, make something. And my thing is, the main reason I bought it at the time, Tom, is because I said, you know what? I don't want these cigars just as another business deal.
Right.
We're going to buy it all and give it away to people, you know, that enjoy it and stuff like that. So a lot of times, like in the beginning, what we even did, whoever donated more money to SIDS got boxes. And that's how we did the charity, you know. So, you know, $200 box brought me like 20 grand. So, you know, it was a great thing. And everybody who knows about these cigars, they look for that. They want these cigars. And, you know, again, if it goes to charity, we give it away. That's our thing.
Well, we appreciate all you do for the cigars and for charities. I mean, you guys really do a lot to help the community there. And it's so important. And definitely, I want to also put this up here too. Check out, search for them on all social media, Facebook and Instagram. Just look up for Sanj's Smoke Shop. I know you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter too. Just look up Sanj.
Yeah. Let's give him some. Start following him on Twitter and shit talking because he doesn't post enough on there. So throw in some stuff to keep him fresh. So shit talk him a little bit. As soon as he sees the shit talk coming for your ass.
Absolutely.
Get him a little bit more active on Twitter, guys. Give him a follow and just trash talk the shit out of him. Tag me, and I'll jump right in there because I'm a prick bastard. I'll do it.
That's right. And so with regard to cigars that are longer in production, vintage cigars that are, I mean, we see with vintage whiskeys some real interest in those. What do you see with vintage cigars? Where do people usually find those? Places like yours? Elsewhere, collectors, where do you usually find those?
Well, so I don't know how your business works, but in the cigar business, unless you bought something and you collected yourself, to me, that's vintage. But if some jerk off said, hey, it's 15-year-old vintage, nah, it's just a bag. So, you know, alcohol, I don't know, because, you know, as you know, I don't drink, but it may, you know, alcohol, they might make it whenever they said and they stored it themselves. And the tobacco, everybody just, you know, puts a name. So I tell people all the time, if you want to collect something, you like a cigar, buy the box and put it away, you know. And to me, that's vintage. But if somebody said, oh, this is, you know, 1952, negative. You know, and again, you know, all this stuff back in the day, 20 years ago, nobody was fucking collecting cigars.
Right.
So how the hell that become? Everything I have downstairs in my humidor, and Matty knows what I have.
It's like a museum, man, to be honest
and
with you.
Some of that in your humidors is vintage.
You can literally go through the last 100 years of tobacco. And when I say 100 years of tobacco, I'm talking about the best that they had to offer in the last 100 years. So that's why, you know, my ski mask is in the car waiting for that power outage and shit.
So my advice to people who want to collect cigars, start your own collection. And date it, you know, whatever the day you buy it, that's the day, you know, start the beginning date. And, you know, stuff like that. If you have, I mean, listen, I'm here almost 30 years and it went so quick, you know. So something 30-year-old is 30 years old, you know, and you bought it and you know that it was created. It's not somebody saying, you know, like all the cigar companies, they put their names on it and say tobacco from, you know, 1952. What the fuck? You weren't even in the business in 1952. You know, so it's just stupid, you know, and I don't believe it. You know, anybody tells you that, oh, this is a vintage tobacco, I don't believe it. I think that's one of the biggest scam in my business.
Is when they actually tell you that you think it's not really like
just like
when it comes to the cigar companies or the retailers themselves?
Cigar companies. If a cigar company puts a band, if I come out with a cigar called Tom Fischer tomorrow, and say vintage from 1953, who's certifying that?
Is there any way to certify it?
No. Unless you have the bells that you bought and the date it came with.
Right.
We have pre-embargo Cuban tobacco that we bought at an auction. Comes with the tobacco, comes with the certificate.
Have you seen it done the right way where that actually is verified very often? No.
Not so much, because it became the in vogue thing to do not too long ago. So there's the thing that kind of sucks. So there's some great stuff out there, but then you have other people putting shit out there that you can't verify. So that's tough. Somebody could be slipping some bands on there. But 30, actually, no, let's think about it. It started about 25 years ago. So Alfred Dunhill. So when you see the Dunhill brand, Dunhill out of La Romagna, they put out some amazing stuff. Alfred had some incredible tobacco fields and incredible tobacco. And he had a couple of blends from in the beginning that they were the blue label, which from DR. They had the brown label, which is Canary Islands. And then some clown put out there that there was special Canary Island stuff. And the first part, I asked Sanj, I'm like, really? I thought original Canary Islands was just from 20 years ago. He goes, it was. And he goes, whatever that is real. So there were some dudes, and it's before the internet was super huge, where you could pick them off. So some dudes were selling, $100 a stick to a Canary Island Dunhill that didn't actually exist.
Wow.
Because the real had that brownish label. And I think I still have a few sticks left, but those are from like 94, 95, 96. So I was like, oh shit, Sanj, I want to get some of those others. I'm like, I've never had them. And he goes, you've never had them because they don't exist.
Right.
So
they don't exist.
You got to watch. And again, the only things that are certified now are the old Cuban things. If you don't have bills of lading that prove that you took in an inventory of this tobacco from X old, and of course you want to see that bill of lading have the year that you're claiming that it came from.
Right.
So it becomes a real pain in the ass to try to track that down. Just like in your thing, if you don't have the company with all the information on there and the COAs and everything else, you don't really know what you're getting.
It may be tough even with whiskey. I mean, we know if you find one of those old bottles, and we find a lot of people that contact us at Bourbon Blog saying, what's this worth? And there are some really old bottles, and whiskey will keep, right? I mean, whiskey is one of those things that we can find out some of these bottles came from not just when it says 15 years old, but say a vintage whiskey from the 1980s, whatever it might be. But with cigars, if kept properly humidified, how long can they last? Forever, just like whiskey, if done the right way, right?
Yes. Yeah.
The only thing you'll notice is that the strength for every 10 years will diminish about maybe a half an inch to an inch off the top. So you'll get people that have bought pre-embargo Cuban cigars, and they look at you like you're crazy. And you're like, I don't taste anything. And Sanj off to tell them, take a deep breath, be patient. You got to smoke through an inch or two of it. You're going to find cigars that are actually 100 years old, but guess what? You got to smoke through yay of that stick to get what the original flavors are.
We did a podcast last week, and I brought out some certified pre-embargo Cuban tobacco, and they were shocked.
Wow.
Smoked the cigar.
Yeah, it was amazing. And those are some of that stuff you just, I don't know, man. You can't put a price tag on it because not just because it's rare, but by how tobacco like that smokes. And Sanj had to create it in a very different size configuration to most torpedoes. He did it in a way where you could literally snip off just the top of it so that the draw that you got in was a full draw and you really were able to get all those nuances of it. And I got to tell you, man, that being aged, and like I said, they were made 30 years ago. So the tobacco is pre-59. So think about that. So, we smoked the stick. It was made 30 years ago with tobacco pre-1959. So that's pretty nuts stuff.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And as far as those go, are there any things about when you try those older cigars about the ways they were doing the tobacco that whether it's 10 years old or say 30 or 40 years old, is there anything specific about the terroir of the tobacco that comes across different?
No, the method of making cigars is still the same.
Right.
So nothing has changed. I mean, the only thing in my experience has changed by last 15, 20 years, it's like all the young guys took over, right? So, their father, their grandfather made it, and they had a mentality: if it's not broken, don't fix it. So what has happened? I mean, great thing has happened because the youngsters took over. They started blending. They started mixing different tobacco. They're experimenting a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff's coming out of great stuff out of it.
Right.
Yeah, until the end of the '90s, you didn't get stuff like, you had 7 or 8 wrappers that were used all the time. Then you had people like, what's a Suriolo 98 or
Right.
what's a Suriolo 99?
Right.
Or people will go Cameroon wrappers. Like, is it Cameroon from Cameroon or is it Ecuadorian Cameroon? Just like when people go,
Hybrid, yeah.
So these hybrids in the last 20 to 25 years with the kids, you're talking 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th generation. So when you got generation, the kids are like, you know what? Let me try my hand at a little bit of mixology and a little bit of science, and let me see what I can produce in the fields. And Sanj will know the answer to this, not I, but there was one year that was probably the most savage year that was mold and bug and cigar beetles in the same year.
Right.
And that's when they really started dabbling. I don't know, was that those 300 98?
Yes, 98.
And they made it a mostly mold resistant, and a tobacco that those beetles did not like as much.
Right.
So you were able to save a ton of tobacco, and you had a really tasty tobacco that was resistant to mold and something that cigar beetles did not particularly like to inhabit.
Right. And on whiskey, we get some of the same elements on older whiskeys. I mean, if they're stored properly, but there are some elements I think that relate to maybe the quality of corn they're using, the quality of grain they were using, that are somewhat obvious if it comes to whiskeys from the 70s and 80s. But it is always fun, and it is always one of those things that's like, hey, if you know it's from an older generation, a little bit rare, you automatically know it in your mind too, and it becomes a different experience. So,
Right on.
yeah. Question from YouTube Street 22 Style says, been kicking around the cigar business as a business idea. Any advice? I think he means I don't know whether it's a shop or just getting
about opening a shop or making sticks.
Either one, go for it. You feel free.
I'll let Sanj hit that one because he's got the experience on both
Yeah.
sides.
What was the question?
Either opening up a cigar store or perhaps getting into the manufacturing of cigars. Both are tough, let me tell you. But Sanj can give you more insight.
Well, it depends also on what state and how dedicated you are. Listen, my man, if you're willing to put just regular stuff and just have somebody to hang out, stay out of it. Spend time with family. If you're gonna give your 100%, go ahead. Learn more about it. I mean, you could try firsthand, experience, and it's not fun anymore. This business was great. I still have a good time because I still run it the way I ran it 30 years ago. So it's up to you. But I guess a lot of stuff like if you have family, don't do it, man.
And I saw the answer on the bottom. So yeah, if you're opening a shop, basically what Sanj said, and I'll be straight up with you too. Location, location, location. You want to be in a place where you know that there's people that are really aficionados. And I say that because you want to have like a family atmosphere of people coming into your store, right? You want to have people that are dedicated to sitting down, talking to each other, not a popularity contest, not who's smoking the most expensive cigar, but just people who enjoy the camaraderie of cigars and enjoy it as a hobby. Because once you start doing it, and like I said, there are unfortunately places where people just waving their dicks that I have the most expensive cigar, what you got? And that makes things a lot rougher on everybody because you're never going to gel a real base. You're not going to feel like family at a shop like that. And you don't want to be around people that are just trying to outdo each other. Again, if you're really into this and you really love it, he's on his 30th year of making and shop owning. On my 30th year of being worthless at all the above, but love it, but loving the industry and loving the cigars. So you gotta figure out that area is about where you are and the kind of people that you feel in your heart are going to come into your store, because that can make you or break you, man.
Yeah.
And then of course the second part is what San said. You got to learn enough about the business. You got to educate yourself on tobacco. They have things. Obviously, we're in COVID now, so things suck a little bit. But they have things that are called like Drew States as a safari. You go down to Nicaragua for 4 days and you learn from seed to cigar.
Absolutely.
And like I said, for many years I was jaded, and we spoke about this on the Lounge Experience podcast. Now I've been smoking cigars for years, and the only factory that I had ever been to was the Grey Cliff factory in the Bahamas. Now, at that point, I've been smoking cigars for 12 or 13 years. So I walked into that factory, and all I saw was 10, 12 rollers. In my mind, this is a cigar factory, right? Absolutely not. So I can tell you my 20th year, I started going to Nicaragua 11 years ago. So I remember the most shocking thing ever is just seeing just how much work it went into it. And Sanj say 100, just think about 180 pairs of hands that went from that seed to the final product. So you got to learn everything, and that'll make you more powerful as a store owner to learn, you know, what the process is, what people's palates are, what type of tobacco is being used. And like I said, it really takes quite a study because you don't want to be the kind of guy that doesn't know and you're just leafing through pages of a magazine and going, hey, I read this in Cigar Aficionado, read this in another cigar. This looks like a good stick, because you're not going to be able to properly convey the history of the tobacco, the cigar, and you're not really going to learn somebody else's palate. So those are kind of the things that I could see from the outside looking in. Like if I was ever to do something like that, I'm blessed, and I'd still tell you I don't have the balls to do it because I learn more every day. Every single day I learn more. So there's my thought process from the outside.
And our unfortunate thing today in cigar industry is most manufacturers that manufacture cigars and come to sell you the product, they're like fucking gypsies in a circus, right? It's like telling a fortune. They got the best shit. And you know what? If you don't know what you're buying and what company, I mean, listen, there are a lot of companies, respectable companies, and there are a lot of companies are just fucking bullshit. And they sell you stuff, and you know, it gets stuck on your shelf. So you need to determine that. And, you know, I always tell people, stick with, you know, premium stuff, boutique cigars, you know, and there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, listen, you know, we have cigars that nobody ever heard of name, but it's a $20 cigar. But I tell them, I say, listen, don't pay me $20. Smoke it. Fuck the name. Don't worry about the name. And when they smoke it, they'll get a box. You know, so that's the level you need to go today. Because if you go with everyday product, that everyday stuff, it's a waste of your time. You know, you have to go somewhere, you know, in the business is what you could educate people and what you could tell them and say, hey, this is a great stick. Yeah, it's $20, but you know what? It's better than anything you smoke. Then if the person that smokes cigars and enjoys that tobacco product, they're going to know that you gave them something outstanding stuff. And, you know, they're going to come back. But if you're going to go with the names, you know, certain names, you know, I don't give a fuck. You know, Gurkha, Rocky Patel, fucking AJ Fernandez, you know, fucking, what the fuck, aging room.
I ain't jumping on this train. I just smile away.
Yeah, you don't have to jump on it because you know what? Listen, this is my experience. You know, you're not gonna. It's like fucking snake oil. You know, and then stay away from that. You know, ratings, all that shit means absolutely fucking nothing.
Right.
Smoke your cigars, educate your customer, and say, hey, what do you want? Get to know. And you know, a lot of common question I get asked, right? Even from consumer, and says, hey, you bring anything you bring, you sell it out. How is that? And I tell them, I don't buy anything that I like. I know my 80%, 90%. If Matty came out with the cigar tomorrow and called, you know, fuck Matty Rock K2, I'm not buying it if my customers don't have that palate.
He's kicking nuts.
I wouldn't smoke anything. I told
but,
the last thing,
you know,
over the years, Walken's back there. Walken, you dare smoke any of my cigars on purpose?
No, but you know what I'm saying. So you have to buy it I buy everything according to my client's palate. I have guys here, you could turn around and ask them and say, hey, if they come up and put 10 cigars in a counter, and if I know that 2 of them, they're not going to like it, I'm going to like, hey, put this back. This is not your palate. You have to get to that level. And you know what? It'll come with time, but you have to stick with it. And it's a slow process, but it's a great process. If you enjoy it and you want to do it, brother, knock yourself out. All the best. You need help. We're here. And that's all we can tell you. But if you're just going to get into it because you think it's a fact, you're wasting your time and money.
That's right.
Right? Knock yourself out. You need any help? We're here.
And thank you for that. And I think that's so important. And I think, you know, another thing with regard to the tasting, you know, in whiskey, we do these, you know, whiskey competitions, but often I just like trying, you know, blind tastings of whiskeys to see what I really like the best. So I'm not influenced by the name or to even know if it's a rye whiskey, a single malt. Usually I can know if it's a bourbon or a rye, but do you do the same thing sometimes with cigars? Do you do blind tastings just to kind of say, hey, give me a cigar and I'll just guess what it is? Or not even guess, I'll just tell you my feedback. Do you do that sometimes?
Yeah. So a lot of, like, we get a lot of companies, new companies we entertain. I remove, first thing I do is I remove the bands. And, you know, I taste it. Because I don't want to, you know, if a fancy band or, you know, somebody I know gave it to me, I don't want to be, you know, I want to be me and make a blind decision. It's okay. This was really good. You know, because sometimes what happens is you got a friend of a friend drops you off a cigar. Can you try this? You know, and then the biggest bullshit, everybody owns a fucking Nicaragua, Honduras, and the Dominican Republic. And I'm like, where are these fucking people staying? Right. Everyone comes up here, they tell you, oh, we bought a land. We manufactured this. We bought a factory. No, it's like Matty said it the best. You go to pizzeria, you tell the fucking pizza guy, you want a Parmesan, you want this, you want sausage, you want pepper. You didn't make jack shit. You know, and that's the part that I don't like. And, you know, the messed up part is you tell these people, say, hey, this is not a cigar worthy of my shop. They get offended, you know, and I'm like, look around what we have, what we deal with. So it's, you know, even if my friend came out with the cigar and if I didn't like it, and if, you know, my thing is my client, whatever they purchase in my shop, it should be worth it. If I sell them $10 cigar, it's $15 cigar. And they're going to have the best experience. And that's the way we look. That's the way I do it. And that's my success. You know, and I have, listen, we have guys want to buy $500 Oro just because it's $500. And I tell them, you're not going to buy that.
Right.
You're not going to do that because you don't know nothing about that tobacco.
Right.
It's waste of time, waste of money.
Absolutely. And again, these are great. This is great feedback you're giving us. Street Style says great advice. Appreciate it. So thanks, Street Style, for asking the question. A lot of great people watching this. Looks like a lot of people who are locals there that are saying that you're right around the corner from them. They enjoy your cigars a lot. How's that Yoo-hoo and that? What's the drink you're having with yours? Are you having an espresso? I'm forgetting what you're having there, Sanj.
Sour Patch.
Sour Patch. That's the Sour Patch pairing. Yes.
As long as you ain't taking my Reese's peanut butter cups, bro.
No Reese's peanut butter cups, little Yoo-hoo, and I have
I tried that already. Do
you like the Reese's peanut butter cups with the? Say that again, Matty.
Walking chin.
Do you like the way the peanut butter cups taste with the cigar? Is it a nice little pairing there?
I'm just fat and I love Reese's peanut butter cups. So I'm not gonna. I can't claim that there's any actual pairing going on or nuances. I would actually say, if anything, a Reese's peanut butter cup probably muddies your palate, but I don't care. You know.
But you've been exercising a lot the last few weeks. It sounds like, from what you've been telling us.
Down 30 pounds, man.
But after tonight, hopefully even more.
So far, yeah. So far, there's only one Reese's peanut butter cup, but after this goes off air and no one sees anything, I do what I want, and this is a judgment-free zone. So I don't want to hear any trash talk. I do what I want. It's Halloween. Leave me alone. Just saying.
All right, and I've moved on. Somebody asked about what I've been pairing several things, not finishing all of them, of course, but did the Manhattan with the Texas pecan hickory rye. I'm doing a little bit of a single barrel from Peerless. I'm doing a little ole mole here as we wind things down here from Peerless, the Peerless rye with the acid that I'm smoking. And again, if you joined us midstream, this will be up permanently wherever you're watching it. And the audio of this will also be on our podcast channel if you're a podcast fan, because people have been asking about great podcasts to subscribe to down below. Make sure you subscribe to ours, anchor.fm/bourbon blog. We continue to put all these up on our podcast, so definitely subscribe to that. And we'll give you all one more chance to either retweet or share on Facebook. Make sure you like it and retweet, and like it and share on Facebook to be part of our drawing tonight, because we're giving away both the coffee from Janice will be our first prize we give away, and then we'll also give away that special. Tell me again the cigar box we're giving away.
It's 2010 Nessa Miranda Dano.
The Dano, absolutely. So these are two exciting giveaways. We'll give you all a few more minutes to do that as we wind things down here on Cigar Saturday. Matty, who's our guest? Yes, who's our guest next week?
So next week is going to be fun. So if you're from the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, PA, we are going to have the Pizza Pope and author of 12 or 13 books, the Pizza Pope himself, Peter Genovese, on here. So he used to be a craft beer guy as well too. So for all you foodies out there and anybody who wants to rumble a little bit on what some of the best are and the best pizzas, check out Peter Genovese. Take a look. He's going to bring a lot to the show. Again, he's been doing what he's been doing for a very long time. He's a news guy as well, reporter, so man of the streets and known as the Pizza Pope. So going to be a lot of fun. Our other upcoming guests are Matt Farah, so one of the biggest car shows on YouTube. He's all about cars and watches, and he's also a cigar smoker as well. And a real special one for the cigar people out there. At the end of next month, we're going to have Jose Blanco on. So Professor. Now, and that's right, who's lovingly given his name by me 20 years ago as the Professor. So all my cigar peeps out there who really want to learn, that's somebody who gets to call himself a master blender. You don't hear those words come out of my mouth or Sanj's mouth at all, ever. So you're going to hear that. So you're going to hear, love Peter. Yeah, he's the best, man. So you're going to hear from a true master blender, somebody that has, I think, almost 60. Been doing it since a child. So sorry, Professor. I guess I'm calling you out, old guy. But almost
73 he just turned, by the way. Fuck Jose. Jose, you're an old man.
Oh, there's gonna be. You know what? I might have to have Sanj as a guest with Jose as a guest.
Fucking with me.
No. I'm just warning you now, so everyone's laughing. Tom, you don't know. He says he doesn't, but he talks like Tony Montana. Then of course I don't hear it. So as soon as you hear him talk, you're gonna be like, holy shit. It's Dominican Tony Montana.
Yeah.
I don't know what you two assholes are talking about. He doesn't I don't fucking sound like that. Is that how he sounds walking?
Yeah.
Is that how he sounds, guys? You've heard him?
Yeah.
What? Matty, you shut the fuck up. I do not talk like Tony Montana. You fucking jerk. So we may have to have Sanj in on that because it'll be a great night of absolute shit talking, but on the serious note, mad, crazy, lunatic knowledge that this guy has and what he's done and how many years he's done it for.
Nice. No, we'd love to have Sanj back on that. And again, if you're watching, you want to follow Sanj and the Sanj Smoke Shop on Facebook, all social media, Instagram. Sanj Smoke Shop is the place to look for. And then if you're doing it on Twitter, it's Sanj Shop. And we'll do this drawing here in just a moment. And Sanj, thanks for the giveaway too. It's always a lot of fun talking with you both. Just to get the real insight, behind cigars. What's the most popular Drew Estate cigar that you guys sell there at Sanj Smoke Shop?
Everything sells.
Everything. There's not one that's more popular. It's all popular.
Yeah, all popular.
All popular. All right. So we still save some peanut butter cups for Matty, right? You still have a few of those to go. I feel like I'm going to see your pockets being lined here in a moment. Peanut butter cups falling out as you head back home, right?
No. I'm not going to leave anything for purposes of liability being caught. After the camera goes off, I may or may not do that.
All right. We will. What we'll do here first for the giveaway is we will have. Let's see here. Annabelle's been helping me out with the numbers, and we have these in front of us. We have someone's number attached with their name between 1 and 22. We're going to give away that coffee first.
All right, we're gonna have Detective Walken Chips choose the number.
Okay, Detective Walken is going to be choosing both of our numbers. First, it's that wonderful bag of coffee, aged in a used bourbon barrel. Again, Janus Coffee Roasters. We're going to have some more fun things coming from them soon, but you got to check those guys out. Walken, a number between 1 and what did I say? Now it's actually 25. Actually, now it's 25. Annabelle's telling me. 1 and 25. What's your pick there, Walken?
Oh, it's 17.
17. All right, and that coffee goes to. All right, Randall G. New Jr. Randall New.
All right,
get that bag of coffee. Very good. And Randall, I will message you and get your address. And for that special box, you have that box still in front of you?
Where did we put it down?
I don't know. I was looking at the peanut butter cups to make sure nobody was touching it. So
That's
I don't
your
know.
prize tonight, Matty.
He put it back in the basement.
It's back in its
Well, back in the basement. Tell us again what that box of cigars is, Sanj.
Mr. Miranda 2010 Deno.
All right, that's special box from 2010. Walken, what is your second number? And Randy says nice. What's the second number?
21.
21. All right. 21 is attached to Thomas Greener. Congratulations, Thomas, on that coffee.
Nice.
Not coffee, the cigars. The cigars.
And
The
remember,
cigars,
Sanj and I didn't pick the numbers, so you take it up with Detective Walken chips, you dig?
Take it up with Detective Walken. Randy says nice. I don't know if Thomas is still watching. We'll make sure we message him, get his address. But Sanj, Matty, Walken, the whole team there at Sanj's Smoke Shop, thank you all so much. It's a special Halloween edition. Keep sharing the video. Who knows what I might dress up like next week. But for now, this is you never know. Maybe it'll become a thing.
I'm impressed.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Sanj, always a pleasure having you on. We'll definitely have you back. We always appreciate your perspective.
Likewise.
And Walken and Matty, great seeing you guys. You guys
Much
have
love,
a great
brother.
Halloween. Much love, everyone. Everyone stay safe, and thanks for watching Cigar Saturday.
Salud.
Salud. Cheers, everybody.